Good day. My name's Wayne Duvenage. I'm from OUTA, and I want to share with you a story of abuse of power and bullying by a government department that is really trying to cripple businesses in this country. And it pertains to INSETA. Now, INSETA is the Insurance Sectoral Training Authority. And if you don't understand the SETAs, there's about 20 of them, and they take the skills development levies that government collects from businesses, and they impart this revenue through the training providers out there who go out there and do what this whole scheme was set up for, which is upskill people and prepare them and certify them for employment. It's a good scheme when it works, but it's very bad when it doesn't. And here's the story. So just listen to this. GIFS is the acronym for the Graduate Institute of Financial Sciences. They have been providing services of training to hundreds of companies for close on 2 decades now. And the INSETA has been informed by GIFS a couple of years ago that there are ghost learners in the system. In other words, people are receiving certificates that should not receive. And that's quite dangerous and bad for business when you employ people that are supposed to be certified as having done certain courses and they haven't. That's one issue. The other issue that is so bad is when people who have trained and supposed to get their certificates to verify their training do not get these certificates. Not for months, sometimes years, and those learners are not able to get jobs now. So what happened is GIFS brought this to the attention of INSETA, the management of INSETA, and instead of embracing GIFS and asking them to come in and explain this and give them the information and deal with it properly, they shun them. They don't bring them in. They don't deal with this matter properly. In fact, what they do is find a report, or commission some investigator to go and do an investigation on GIFS, which then finds GIFS guilty of some transgressions of their processes. Now, this is just a tit for tat, quite frankly, and that report, by the way, is in court. It will be reviewed in court. We believe it will be thrown out. It's a lot of hogwash if you read that report. So here's the problem now, and it gets worse. The fact that INSETA doesn't embrace GIFS meaningfully, that gets this report against them on really trumped-up information, what happens is that INSETA de-accredits GIFS. A company that's been doing business with them for over 15 years now is no longer able to do business. Their hundreds of clients are left in the lurch. They have to go and find other service providers, and GIFS as a business starts to suffer. So what does GIFS do? Well, this de-accreditation happened in December last year, 2023. GIFS goes to court, and in January of 2024 gets a court order for INSETA to re-accredit them. The court listens to both arguments and says this doesn't make sense, re-accredit GIFS. And INSETA doesn't do that. It ignores that court order. They say they're ignoring it because they're going to appeal this judgment. So appeal it they do to the High Court. And what happens? The High Court throws out their appeal. They have no grounds for appeal according to the High Court, and says, while you are petitioning the Supreme Court of Appeal or whatever you want to do, the order is this: you reinstate GIFS as a service provider so they can carry on surviving as a business. What does INSETA do? Its management and its board at the time, Seetlin Gobani was the chairperson, and its CEO just ignore this court order. And they continue to make GIFS suffer, all because they raised some serious concerns around maladministration in INSETA. And we also have heard that the same type of bullying has happened against another company, and possibly even more, where that company has also had to close down. But GIFS is trying to survive. They are fighting as hard as they can. And all the INSETA says is, well, we're waiting for the Supreme Court of Appeal to tell us whether we are successful or not. Now, that could take years. That could take a long time. As we know, the court systems are clogged up and they take a long time to get to these court orders. And then what happens is in the midst of all of this, in June, at the end of June this year, the accreditation process now has to restart again. So GIFS applies from 1 July to be reaccredited, and they say, no, we can't do that because we're waiting for your past case to be heard in court. This is essentially a death sentence to a business if this continues any longer. This is bullying. This is gross abuse of power. And it is all because people inside a government institution like INSETA aren't getting their way. Now, we appeal to the minister, the new minister of higher education. We appeal to SCOPA. We appeal to all the oversight and authorities to do something about this, because we cannot have this abuse of power in government departments that gives rise to decimation of businesses, losses of jobs, loss of livelihoods in this day and age in 2024 in South Africa. In our 7th administration, which is committed to doing things right, this is not doing things right. And we're asking that the oversight authorities, all the powers that be, take action and insist and instruct INSETA to reaccredit this organization and to look into what's happening in this organization, to look into why INSETA does not want to provide OUTA with information. We have followed the Promotion of Access to Information Act. We have asked for information relating to QI solutions and other irregularities that we believe have led to millions of rands that have been paid for systems that really should not have been paid for, that have been inferior in their processes, that have question marks around the procurement processes. Why is it that INSETA continues to deny giving us information that you and I, the public, are entitled to? This is not acceptable. And we believe that if the minister and others do some thorough digging into INSETA, into the procurement, into the information that we can provide them, and others, by the way, because it's not only gifts that have suffered. There are people inside INSETA, people who used to work there for years, good people who raised concerns around maladministration, around irregularities at INSETA that have been removed from that organization, that were suspended, that were fired, pushed out of the organization because they got in the way of issues that management didn't want to hear. This is so wrong in this day and age. And we ask the minister, we ask the public protector, we ask SCOPA, we ask everybody, please have a look, have a close look at this organization and instruct them to do their jobs and do it properly. Because if they don't, then other organizations that are also accredited to INSETA may also be de-accredited for the wrong reasons, and more jobs will suffer. We ask this, please, Minister, have a look. INSETA is wanting, and they need to be taken to task. That management needs to be taken to task. Thank you.